Hello there, algebra students. This is Mr. Kashi speaking. In this video, we're going to wrap up the notes that we have from our Chapter 10, Section 1. Just didn't have enough time in the last video, so we'll wrap up the subtraction examples here. We've got 4 examples on this slide that I want to make sure we get through. So when we're talking about our vertical method, it's really important in subtraction. So we're going to be writing out, we have so we have 4p squared minus 2p, and then I'm going to put a plus 0 here as well. And remember, this is going to be subtraction, okay? But then I'm going to write this second one in standard form so everything lines up. So this would be a negative 6p squared. This would be a plus 5p, and then this would be an 8, plus 8, okay? And remember, we're subtracting these, okay? So we have 4 minus a negative 6p squared. So technically that would be change, and so this would be a 10p squared. And then we have, in the middle column, we have negative 2p minus 5p, so that would bring us down to a negative 7p. And then we have 0 minus 8, which would bring us down to a negative 8. So we'd end up with 10p squared minus 7p minus 8. Just be careful here when you're subtracting negatives and subtracting positives. And we're going to get a lot more work practicing those types of skills throughout the chapter here. Moving on to B, I'm going to rewrite this first term in standard form. So we have t squared minus 12t minus 4, okay? And then I'm going to put the subtraction out here, and then here we have a negative t squared plus 2t, and in this second, this binomial right here does not have a constant term, so I'm going to put in a plus 0 so it helps us with our subtraction and addition. So here we have t squared minus a negative t squared. That would give us a positive 2t squared. Remember, that's change. Then we have negative 12t minus 2. So this would be, negative 12t minus 2t. That would give us a negative 14t. And then we have a negative 4, and we're subtracting nothing. So we just can rewrite the negative 4 down there. So for minus 4. So our final answer would be simplified to 2t squared minus 14t minus 4. Okay, moving on to these last 2 examples. Once again, we're going to write these in standard form. Actually, it might be better if you just pause the video right now, give these 2 a try on your own, and see where we're at. So just pause the video right now if you could, and give these 2 practice problems a try. All right, hopefully you've given those a try on your own. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to put q squared, that's a q, not a 9, plus 9q minus 2, writing that in standard form. Okay, now we're doing our subtraction out front. So we don't have a q squared in the second one, so I'm going to put a 0q squared. Okay, and then this would be plus q, not a 9, plus 3. Okay, we're going to be subtracting these. So we have q squared minus 0q squared. So this would just be the q squared that we started with up top. We have 9q minus q, so that would be a plus 8q. Then we have negative 2 minus 3, which would bring us down to a minus 5. So q squared plus 8q minus 5. And just be careful that we're writing these in standard form first, and then making sure that we are adding and subtracting our integers properly. Then moving over to this one over here, for B, just writing it in standard form first. So 2x squared minus 2x plus 3. And then we're subtracting, and then we have 3x squared plus 4x minus 5. Okay, our vertical method here. So we have 2x squared minus 3x squared. This would be a negative 1x squared if you wanted to write it like that. You wouldn't need to write the 1 if you didn't want to. Then we have negative 2x minus 4x. That would go down to a minus 6x. And then we have 3 minus a negative 5. Remember, that'd be change, and we'd be adding those together, and we would get a plus 8. So hopefully these 4 examples helped you out. I know there's one more slide to go over, but I'm going to wait and go over that slide when I get back to class with you, and we'll be practicing a lot of this integer addition and subtraction with the change method and all that, because that is going to be a very important part with adding and subtracting polynomials, and then we'll be getting into multiplication of polynomials in our next lesson.